Genetically modified. Genetically modified.
Wait! What in the world are you talking about?
Do you even know what genetically modified means?
Yeah, its genetics have been altered.
Just about. During genetic modification, scientists add...
What does this have to do with my box of cereal? It's not like it's going to grow legs and walk around.
No, but lots of food in the United States has been genetically modified. Over 90% of corn and 85% of soy and cotton have been genetically modified. Worldwide, there are over 50 GM products involving 13 individual crops. Since the first genetically modified plant was introduced in 1996, the number of GMOs has grown. The changes to these foods range from staying ripe longer, to more nutritional value, and to herbicide resistance.
Fresher and healthier food doesn't sound bad.
No, but it's kind of like the atom bomb. It took a while, years for scientists to develop it, but no one really knew how much it would impact.
Are GMOs really that bad?
There's no absolute link between GMOs and human disease, but there are several points of concern. The foreign genes in a GMO have the potential to create new toxins and enhance allergens in the plant without the consumer's knowledge. For instance, the soybean gene in potatoes not only increases its nutritional value, but could also cause an allergic reaction for people allergic to soy products. Meanwhile, a recent study found an insecticide implanted in certain corn crops was found in the bodies of pregnant women. Also, the process of genetic modification also poses some risks. Studies have shown that the bacteria or viruses used to transplant the foreign gene can survive in the plant and potentially invade the human body. At the same time, antibiotic markers to show if the transfer was successful allow bacteria both inside and outside our bodies the chance to become immune to modern medicine. Herbicide-resistant GMOs endanger the environment too. Although GMO companies claimed it would lessen herbicide use, the opposite has proven true. These herbicides not only affect the soil and water supplies, sometimes causing crop yield to actually decrease, but encourages the growth of herbicide-immune weeds. This causes farmers to use even more toxic chemicals to combat them. Finally, GM crops can breed with wild plant species to produce hybrids that can outcompete with native plants.
Worldwide, this is a big issue. There have been protests all over the world. Recently in Hawaii, there was 3,000 people who were marching the streets protesting GE test plots on their island. And then Berlin, there was 23,000 people. This was, I think, last year. There was 23,000 people protesting big agriculture and GE crops. And then Mexico, after weeks of hunger strikes, this was just probably 4 or 6 weeks ago, weeks of hunger strikes, all these Mexican, tens and thousands of Mexican peasant farmers all gathered in the streets and protested the threat of genetically engineered corn on their soil. And then in Poland, just recently, we have all the farmers, convoys of tractors crisscrossing Poland, 10 plus weeks protesting the sale of their land to these biochemical companies and with the GE crops that will subsequently follow. A lot going on. How much of this did you hear in our national news? It's all being filtered. But there is this, it's a global, Africa, India, there's just a worldwide protest and it's growing.
2003, there were 37 countries in the world that labeled GMO foods. And many of these were our customers. Then that report was updated in 2010 by Dr. Neil Blue. And at that time in 2010, there were 48 countries in the world that labeled GMO foods, gave the consumers the right to know. So from 2003 to 2010, this has increased by 11 countries. Today, from 2010 to 2013, 14 more countries have been added to that.
And here's the map. Here, you can see this map. It's the large poster against the wall there. And the dark green are very strong labeling systems. Lighter green are a little bit less so. India is yellow, meaning at the time the map was made, India comes online this year as a labeling country. So when you total it all up, there are 62 labeling or banning countries. Some of the blues are banning countries. the map is a little bit out of date because some of the labeling countries have moved to banning countries. They ban GMOs. They don't want GMOs to cross their borders.
Currently, there are only a handful of companies producing GMOs, including Monsanto, which controls 90% of GMO production. Unlike normal plants, GMOs can be patented by its developers. This allows companies like Monsanto to monopolize the seed market and force farmers to buy new seeds every year. Not surprisingly, these companies are quite wealthy and want to keep their influence, using strong lobbying to defeat any attempts at limiting GMO production.
We have this shining moment where we can really turn this around. Washington could really be the first state in the entire country to require labeling by law, and that would be huge. Every American deserves the right to know what's in the food that they're buying, and a label will just make great links.
Genetic modification sounds like a serious issue. What can I do to help?
Well, if you're interested, if you follow me outside, we're actually having a petition right now.
Let's do that.
Well, this is Vanessa. She can help you fill out the petition if you're interested.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, this fall, Washington residents will be voting on referendum I-522, which would require labeling for all genetically modified produce and processed foods. That's great. Yeah, but it's going to be a difficult battle. Although over 52% of Americans want to know what food has been genetically modified, corporations like Monsanto have used their political influence to crush a similar measure in California. We need everyone's help to fight against these special interests and spread the word about genetically modified foods. If you would sign this petition to the governor, he helps again to help us support the measure. I'm happy to help.